because it's the last thing in the world that I wish to do is to have all of you in this room right now. This afternoon, a city employee was arrested for disorderly conduct, and I'll get right to the bottom of it. Arrested for disorderly conduct, for of all things, for hanging a noose from a forklift on city property, on city time. There is very little I can give to you right now because literally the investigation is going on right now. As we speak, people are still being interviewed. The individual, Bradley C. Barber, is a 20-plus year employee of City Water, Light, and Power, and is currently, as I understand, as we speak, is being booked into the Salmon County Jail. It's hard. I mean, it's just hard to fathom how any individual in the city of Springfield in this last week can't know everything that's happened and can't comprehend the severity of what happened, of what those actions mean in our community. It was discovered, of all times, ironically, about 10 o'clock this morning. At the same time, we're doing the unveiling of Preston Jackson sculpture today, commemorating the 1908 race riots. I don't know how else to describe it. It's unbelievable. And if this doesn't make every person in this room, every person in our community sick to their stomach, nothing will. I can tell you that, to answer some questions before they get there, the circumstances here are somewhat different than the previous incident. This individual knew about the previous incident that happened last Sunday. The individual was arrested because he was actually still on the job. It wasn't exactly the situation previously, and as typical in a case like this, when there's an investigation, it's turned over to the state's attorney's office. That's what happened in the first case, and that's actually what's happened in this case. Both the state's attorney and the FBI have been notified already this afternoon about this incident. The individual was arrested for disorderly conduct because right now the elements weren't there to constitute a hate crime at this time. And I say that because the investigation is ongoing. It's literally a couple of hours old. And about 2 o'clock this afternoon, the individual was placed on unpaid leave of absence, which means that the individual has to stay at home and has to be available to be called during normal business hours and has to be at that residence. And that's what the unpaid leave of absence is. The fact that they wasn't charged with a hate crime doesn't diminish the incident in any way, shape, or form. That's more of a legal element that will have to be sorted out by the state's attorney's office, and I suspect that'll be reviewed just the same as the previous incident was also. You know, there isn't much more you can say than the fact that it makes all of us sick to our stomach. It does. I'm here to get the word out. This is absolutely intolerable. We will not tolerate this. And I'm not talking to the 1,720 employees of the city of Springfield. I'm talking to every person that comes into our community. I don't care if you live outside the community, you walk into here. It's not tolerable. And it's so hard to believe that it could happen after this last week. It's just unbelievable.
Do you know how it was reported? Who saw it? Or
a co-worker, and I don't know if that was a supervisor or not, but it went through the proper channels from being reported, and it was reported up the line. And when it just so happened that we were all here in the office at the same time, and got reported that it made its way all the way up to Director Renfro, who immediately notified me. We immediately notified the police, and I would say they were out there in a very, very short period of time to handle the incident.
Any idea what was inside his head from anyone who talked
you know
to
what?
him?
I would imagine nothing. All right. Thanks, everybody. Wish we were here under better circumstances. Thank you.